Hi, everybody. It is Still Comfy Tuesday, and we finished One Tree Hill Season 1. So we're just gonna wait for Jules to come on. So as we wait for people to file in, you can watch the hearts. Hi, Drew. Hi, Mario. Hi, Sutton. Enjoy watching the hearts swim around my head while we wait for Jules to hit the magic button. Hey!
Hey, look at all them
Hey!
hearts. Love all them hearts. Hey,
Hey!
Mario. What's
Hey!
up? Hey, you guys. No?
No, I don't know. We don't have a theme song yet. I did get a
Did
haircut.
you get a haircut? Yeah.
I did. Elizabeth from our turns out I do have religious trauma, and our 90s male protagonist made me codependent episodes. I went to visit her in Memphis, and we were up late at night with some chemicals in our body, and we cut my hair while we were watching Urban Legend. Yes.
And that didn't scare you?
No, Urban Legend is my favorite, like, goofy, scary movie. I don't tell
Oh,
uh, when I'm with like serious horror fans, I
okay.
tell
You
people
don't.
that Hereditary is my favorite.
Yeah, well, you just said it on the internet now, so.
Oh, well, everyone knows I'm a liar. What kind of chemicals? The kind of chemicals that you get into on girls' nights. I believe champagne was one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shamps is always a good one.
Champs.
Yeah.
Champs. Yes, love Urban Legend. We got to get you onto scary movies, Jules. We got to get you into the big girl movies. Like,
Excuse me. You say that like I've never seen a scary movie. Did you ever consider that maybe the reason why I don't watch scary movies is because my formative years were spent watching scary movies and now I'm like terrified?
why would I pick this filter? It's just going to
You're
trigger
too.
all of my
Can you?
ADHD.
Yeah, I was like, can you change it so you can focus so we can talk? Because I feel like these were the most important episodes of the entire season.
Everyone, it was the season finale block of One Tree Hill season 1 on Still Comfy, which means that this is the last week that we are covering One Tree Hill for a while, which I feel like is perfect for you because now you get the full experience of being left with the finale and having to wait a month to watch new
It was
episodes.
really like I was like, "Where's the remote? No, don't start the next episode in 15 seconds. Where's the remote?"
Ah!
It's like I can't watch it now.
But let's introduce ourselves first because we forgot to do that again.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie. I'm the host and creator of To All the Men I've Tolerated Before. I, on Tuesday, get to talk about TV shows that I watched for homework. I call this work now. Jules, your turn.
Hi, friends. I am Julia Washington, your host and creator of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of race or gender and sometimes both. And I feel like I roped Natalie into my entertainment conversations because she will be featured in season 4 multiple times. Plus,
Multiple
we
times.
plus we co-created this show together. Plus,
Because
we go live on YouTube.
I only watch TV and movies when it's work. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I'll rewatch that for work. Last
yeah,
night on YouTube, on the Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous YouTube, we covered Mamma Mia. You can still catch the replay.
yep.
I sang a lot of the songs. You can guess which ones in the comments.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. All right.
With special guest Paige from For Folk's Sake.
For folks' sake. Yes. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
she pops in today. She usually does because I feel like she'll want to know all of our mania.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, my notes went all the way to the beginning of the season. I was like, my first note shouldn't be, ugh, Dan, we've covered that. He's the worst.
I literally create a new document each time just so that way that doesn't happen to me.
Nope, that's a lot of things to keep track of. That's a lot of
Fair.
things.
Fair.
Where where do you want to start? Should we start with the pregnancy scare?
I was going to say Brooke pregnant, but not pregnant.
But not pregnant. Ha! Raise your hand if you've ever freaked out a boy for no reason because you had mania about being pregnant. I've only had one pregnancy scare, and it's one that I made up.
Oh, thank you, Natalie. Sutton
I
Richardson. I appreciate your feedback on my lipstick.
and
I have never done that
yeah,
because I feel like why wouldn't I? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's terrifying to do to somebody.
I
I don't
didn't mean to lie
know.
about it. My anxiety. I was like 6 hours late. I had not made it the full
So,
day.
you know what I do appreciate though? Like she didn't say I'm late and I'm never late. Because I
Right.
hate that. I hate
Yeah.
it when they have characters say I'm late and I'm never late.
Never late.
Because I'm like, well, who the fuck are you that you've never had a late period ever in your entire life? You must have a stress-free, bougie life.
Yeah. And my period always starts on Wednesdays. Ayo, now you know. And it was Wednesday.
Ever synced. It's fine.
It was Wednesday. I had made it through all of my college classes and I went, what's going on with my body? It still feels normal. There's no cramping, there's no bloating. I'm not in misery yet, and it's Wednesday. So I texted my boyfriend and I was like, I'm late. And he's like, what does that mean? And I was like, I'm
Because
late.
guys don't know. They don't know what that means. They don't go through the whole, like, oh, my period. Oh, shit
And he's
moments.
like, by a couple of days. And I'm like, maybe hours.
Did you not,
literal,
did you,
literal just mania.
did you not have a trusted friend you could have reached out to?
I chose to just rope him into it. I think I was probably petty mad or
Because
something.
I feel like a week is an appropriate time to be like, hey, I'm a little concerned. Just wanted to keep you updated. I don't know.
So I think what happened
Because
with my first.
literally the only time I've ever been like pregnancy late was when I was pregnant.
So I think what happened with my first relationship, much like Brooke, is that I literally just wanted to carry out every television trope that I have ever seen.
Okay.
So maybe I got a teensy bit late and then I went, for the drama, I'll take a test.
Okay, 3 weeks late is a legit. That's
Yes,
a
that's
legit
terrifying.
because that's a terrifying late because then you're entering into the phase of like, wait
Into
a
the
minute,
next month.
this cycle is supposed to be starting again and I haven't had it at all. Like, I think I was probably 3 weeks too. I think I was
Yeah,
probably 3 weeks. Yeah.
I was
I
3 hours.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for the drama.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
do
gonna
it for
rope
the
I'm
drama.
just gonna rope everyone into this and be like, my body doesn't even feel like it's gonna start my period. And then I think I started my period in the middle of that night. Who am I?
Natalie.
Why? Oh no.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
That's
You were
fair.
Brooke
You can,
Davis. You were a teen. You were losing your shit. And
yeah,
it's all valid.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
I was an angry college student in a toxic relationship.
Dodged a
So,
bullet.
dodged a bullet, did not have his baby, not
Thank
once.
God. Thank God.
And could you just imagine me just like sitting there and being like, I'm not even cramping. I should. So I don't think, I mean, if you listen to the podcast, but I don't think the Still Comfy crowd knows that when I was younger, loved to ruin people's lives. I just
Yeah,
loved it. I
yeah.
love to do it for the highs and the lows and knowing that I have that much control over someone's mood. And I was like, there goes your happiness.
Can I just say though, to bring it back to One Tree Hill, because
Yep.
this whole thing was not triggering, but definitely like a, oh my God.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she waited so long to tell Lucas.
Well, because she was still grappling about the fact that she got knocked up by
Yeah,
an asshole.
but when she gets the phone call and says, hey, that says, hey,
Oh,
you're not pregnant, and then she still keeps it going.
she's just
And
a.
then
Uh-huh.
Lucas comes around and is like, yeah, she's like, oh, okay, thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
It's
Uh-huh. Thanks.
yours. It's
Don't worry about it.
yours.
It's yours. And I'm like, he should have caught on that you were being petty. I've made that voice before.
And also, men, PSA, don't assume it's not yours. Because
Right.
if she's telling
True.
you, there's like a chance that she believes it's yours.
Number one, we don't want it to be yours if you're the
Correct.
type of guy who's going to accuse us that it's not yours.
Correct.
We don't
Correct.
want you to be we don't want to fuck with you anymore. We don't want
And
to fuck with you,
honestly,
and we don't want to parent with you.
and honestly, period maths is hard. So
Right.
like if we're telling you that it's yours, we legitimately believe that it is yours.
We had to get out a calendar. We had to count.
We have to count.
We had to find our super special symbol so our dad doesn't stumble upon our written out calendar and be like, "Why do I need to know when you're menstruating?"
Yeah,
like,
so it's like don't say that. Don't say that to any woman ever who tells you she's pregnant. 2, still kind of shitty. I know Brooke was really still mad about Peyton and Lucas. Totally fair. But like considering Lucas's life and what Karen went through, totally fucked up to not put him out of his misery.
Honestly, I think what it was is like Luke keeps slut shaming Brooke. Like he just does. And he keeps slut shaming Haley. So I feel like Brooke was like, "You're a slut too."
Yeah.
Which is a
reoccurring theme in all 4 episodes at the end, which I did actually appreciate because I think it highlights just how toxic our society is to women and that internalized misogyny and like all the other things, because Lucas is doing whatever the fuck he wants and Brooke's the only one who's mad about it. Like, no, you don't get to say all those things to Brooke and Haley and not look in the mirror.
No, that's why I was so angry at him last week. And you were like, "Girl, why you mad?" And I was like, "Cause he's a patriarchy."
You were so mad last week.
I was on my period.
To the point where it was like, I don't have to be here. She can just be going on a rant by herself.
I was mad. I was on my period, and he was being the pouty patriarchy.
And the pouty patriarchy. That's a good one.
The patriarchy that I hate the most is the one that pouts. I hate the pouty patriarchy the most. Like, don't rip my rights away and then cry about it. Don't call me a slut and then brood into the night just to go call your best friend a slut too.
Yeah, I actually really struggled with the way that he was with Haley because it was like he didn't want her to grow and change and wasn't accepting of her growth and change because of whatever his opinions are about Nathan, even though they're coming around to each other and like developing a relationship themselves. Like he's being like that narrow-minded, I've got blinders on type of guy where you're just like, people around you, like everything around you is changing and that is okay. Like, so maybe accept it instead of being a dick to Haley, who is the most level-headed person on this show.
And loving. When Haley creeps into Nathan's bedroom and like wakes him up because he doesn't turn on alarms, I was like, they're like grown up cute. They are like grown up relationship cute. They're like mid-30s, got this shit going on kind of cute. Yeah. Like Nathan got real logical and real smart about his feelings and in touch with himself, and he went to therapy like once. So man, it only takes the one time.
Only takes the one time. I actually made a note about how I think Nathan's had the most growth out of all the characters on the show for season 1, because at the start of season 1, he's literally a mini version of Dan.
A scumbag.
And by the end of season 1, you're just like, gosh, you're like, you're so sweet with Haley. You're so loving towards her. You acknowledge your feelings. You're willing to be vulnerable. You talk about things like, oh my God.
Oh my God. And did you catch Peyton go, who knew the two of you would switch? Natalie knew. Natalie knew Peyton. You a little slow, but that's okay.
She's too busy having the hots for Jake and the baby.
She just wants to be a mom.
Yeah. Like, she holds that baby kind of awkwardly though for like.
She like, it's like a. Like, it's just laying on her arm.
Yeah, I'm just like, girl, that's not how you hold it. How you never hold a baby? Like, have you never?
Also, Dan is everywhere. How is it that Dan is constantly watching me walk out of Planned Parenthood? He's watching Nathan fall down on his knee to yell about it. Like, why you everywhere, Dan? Why you everywhere?
Because he's a cockroach.
He's a cockroach. I will say,
go ahead.
That parking lot fight where they just slut shaming one another back and forth. I was like, this would have been a fight that I would have hidden behind a car to watch if I was
Yeah.
15. I'd be like, ooh, this be juicy. Look at those two get messy. You getting messy, Brooke? What do you call you?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. It was
I,
my perfect type of messy.
yes, it was. I also really resonated with Karen this go around.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in episode 19 when she's like, because Keith is just like so devastated that she's disagreed, not super thrilled anymore about marrying him because she's had this enlightenment by going
Yeah.
to Italy that she didn't have at 18, 19, 20.
Right.
And so now she's realizing like, oh, I can have another chapter. I can have another act.
Are
And
we
like,
ready for me to be surprised, pissed off at Uncle Keith? Because what does Uncle Keith do? He hears Karen go, I'm ready for my next chapter. Europe opened my eyes to the world. And then Keith was like, what if I'm the one that leaves One Tree Hill? Mic drop. Motherfucker took her dream. Man, Keith.
because he's just, I liked him in the beginning of this season, and by the time we get to the end, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, you hung around thinking that you were going to end up with Karen, but you were also too timid to try anything, and now she wants more, and you're like, I gotta leave, I can't watch it. So maybe you are actually related to Lucas, like 100%.
And Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all have been traumatized by the same DNA, and you should all three, four, if we want to include Nathan. So there's one person who can do it right, and we all just go to a family counseling session.
Yeah. And it was kind of frustrating because, like, I mean, by the time the season finale comes around and he's leaving, just Karen's the whole 4 episodes, my heart just went to her. Because when Lucas is like, I'm gonna go with Keith, I was like,
why do these kids just think they get to choose where they live?
Right?
The
and
audacity.
Then she's like, I'm not ready. You're not ready. I'm not ready. And like, I know that feeling. Like, I know that feeling to my core. And it's like, how would you?
I don't know. And to be going with like a mediocre man like Keith. It's like, why does everyone deserve to start over but Karen? She could have left y'all. Deb tried. Like,
yeah, Karen didn't have to come back from Europe, y'all. Yeah. Like, she could have stayed.
Deb and Karen are literal bookends because, like, Deb's like, I too packed a bag and tried to leave.
Yeah.
In this damn town. And the kid that Dan got me sucked me back in because Dan was torturing my kid.
Yeah.
And then Karen's like, well, I guess I'll let Luke go live the reputation-less life that I wanted to live with Keith because Dan's torturing him now.
Yeah. Which is hard. And okay, listen, that reputation thing, all of it, I totally get it. We've had these conversations offline. Like, there's a reason why my kid has my name because it was like, I didn't want you. And that was the thing with Karen and being like, oh, Lucas, your last name's Scott for a reason and all those things. Like, that thing, I was like, nope. Because you know what? The hurdles that you're going to have to face if you're associated with that name, but you're not actually a part of like, just the shit people will say to you, the inappropriate questions that come up. Like, I was not about that life. I also don't like to be bothered. Go ahead.
My exact note about Nate fixing himself without that much therapy is don't fix your boyfriends, but sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Don't fix them. But Haley made it work.
I mean, he really was like...
Literally.
Yeah, like, because she's so... Again, she is literally the best one out of all of them.
But Nate also got to experience something within his hometown that I had to leave my hometown to do, where it's like you get out of the influences that are an arm's length away from you and you wake up to every day.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, I don't have to be shitty. I don't have to everyone's happiness just to feel the drama. Like, I could literally just, like, craft a life the exact way I want it because those people don't call me very much.
Right. And I do wonder though if he would have been able to realize that if it hadn't been for Haley, or if it would have taken him longer.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the influence of Haley on literally everybody, because even Lucas was a better person when he was spending more time with Haley.
Now he's a dirtbag.
And now he's a dirtbag because
a broody dirtbag.
Broody Rick Bruderson. Also, he looks to me like more believably Keith's son, because they both have like the same sort of like.
They did that on purpose though, to do the bookend thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the abortion subplot of the Brooke pregnancy? Where, can I tell you that I hate in media where we perpetuate, because Degrassi did it too when Manny was pregnant, and that episode didn't air in the States. You have to like watch the end at 2 a.m. or MTV to watch the Manny abortion episode. It only aired in Canada.
Okay.
I've seen it once.
Okay.
So Emma was also a daughter of a teen mom. So when Manny's like, I'm 14, I'm not doing this. I'm also not carrying a baby to term, and I'm just, that's a no for me. I'm going to the doctor. Emma and Lucas throw out this shitty bang line of, I could have been aborted. We all could have been aborted.
We were all one either natural or chosen step away from non-existence.
Right.
Which is fine. Yeah. And Lucas, that's not really a winning endorsement at this point
to have your
way
baby.
You're behaving, because you're behaving like an ass. So that's not exactly what you want to lead with.
And I just feel like it's 2003.
Yeah.
I just feel like, and like Degrassi was probably also around 2003, if not earlier. I feel like it's a really shitty subplot to throw out to all of the women who have had abortions and made a choice that was the best for them. Because then it's like, I don't know, we could all make that case. We could all make that case.
Honestly.
Because my theory is that, like, none of the women in the younger generations actually had a choice about having us. I'm like, it was just a societal norm, and you had to check it off the checklist.
Yeah.
So I hated that. And I hate that Luke was pretending like he was going to do whatever Brooke wanted to do and support her, and then like telling his mom and Jake his like real truth, where it's like, well, she can't have an abortion because I could have been an abortion, and Dan wanted me to be an abortion.
Okay, so I didn't take it as, I took it as, he's being supportive of Brooke because that's really scary for her, and then processing his emotions in what he deems as safe spaces, because Brooke is no longer a safe space to process that reality.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I took it.
That's probably a better way to take it. I just hate,
because it's such it's because we make it so complicated. Like, we're not allowed to have true and real feelings about anything with the people who they affect.
Right.
So, especially in 2003.
And if he had said it to Brooke, I would have been back on the you manipulative motherfucker train.
Yeah.
Because it's a very manipulative way to think, to be like, well, you can't do what's best for you.
Right.
Because my mom didn't do what was best for her, and now I'm here.
Right. I agree. Again, Brooke should have told him right then when the phone rang, though.
Right, because it just gave him days to be an asshole.
Exactly.
His peace of mind.
And for every single episode note is, because I break it down by episode, fucking hate Dan, fucking hate Dan Scott. So Dan Scott's a terrible guy. Shocker.
And then like this whole other plot where everyone's mad at Karen because they're going to rewrite the script on Dan because Dan asked one time to see Lucas.
That made me so mad.
I'm like,
because it's like, I'm sorry, wasn't he always kind of a shitty guy? Like, you didn't make that decision irrationally.
You know who we should be asking about whether or not Karen was wrong for telling Dan, no, you don't get to see Lucas? Deb. Let's ask Deb if she regrets raising Nathan side by side with one Dan Scott.
Right?
Like, we know how this turns out.
Right. And I felt like, again, the solo mom gets the shitty end of the
Yeah.
deal and is the bad guy, even though she's
Mm-hmm.
doing everything to protect her child, who is currently acting like an asshole. And I'm
Right.
hopeful he will come out of it when we start season 2.
And I could like understand Lucas being upset about it, but then fuck you, Keith, for being upset about it. What up,
Yeah.
Annie? We're talking about how not only Dan is an asshole, but so is Uncle Keith
And Lucas.
and Lucas. Everyone but Nathan and Mouth
Everyone
and
but
Jake
Nathan and Minkus
and
and
Mouth.
Jake. It's always
And
going to be Minkus. I'm
it's fine.
sorry.
Lee Norris. Why we mad at Keith? Here's the thing, Annie. Keith does the same mopey shit to manipulate Karen that Luke does to Peyton and Brooke because they're just like whinier Dan Scotts. Because this is what no one tells you.
Let's
Because
hear it.
I have dated both diabolical, evil Dan Scott narcissists. And
Whew.
I have also dated whiny, mopey, like just gonna manipulate you with their pout and their like silent treatment and then being mad at you for something that you did 2 weeks ago. Bullshit narcissist as well. Like it's different.
Yeah.
It's very fucked up, but
Yep.
you still end up feeling like your reality isn't your own anymore.
Yeah.
So when Keith barges in on Karen and he's like, I can't believe that you never told me that Dan wanted to see Lucas once, and then I've decided that my brother's been an asshole for 12 years. And Karen's like, did
He's always been.
you decided out of the womb Dan was an asshole. Like
Yeah.
this has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all need therapy. Can I jump ship real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or is Dan Scott wearing the same suit in every scene in
His
every
Hades suit.
episode?
His Hades suit.
um,
They only had one store in the town.
in Tree Hill, there's only
There's
room for
only
one
there's only
suit
one
store, and
there was
that
only
suit
one store that they could all go to because like there wasn't a costume department. They just went and bought clothes from this one store in North Carolina. And you
Oh,
know,
that's real?
yeah, and Dan is like really goddamn broad. So like maybe they had like one suit jacket and the next one didn't come in for season until season 2.
It's
Yeah.
every fucking episode. It's the
Yeah.
same goddamn suit.
And I feel like when he's wearing that suit, that is when he is at his peak devilry. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, here we are in our fucking one suit that makes us the devil. And he
It's
looks
like
the
they're
most like a gargoyle in
Yeah,
it.
it's like they're dog whistling to us. Here he is. He's
Here
in
he
his
is.
suit.
He's in his
Get
suit.
ready for when he's gonna be a dick.
Are
Get
you ready to be
ready.
mad?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be mad?
Yeah. I'm just like every single time I was like, why is he only in this one suit? I'm so concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. No one needed to be mad at Karen at all for being like, no, Dan, I don't actually want you around my very impressionable baby. You happen to be the worst.
And your
She
suit is
and
terrible.
your suit is terrible. She even keeps that Jenny baby when Jake's at school or at practice. Like she's running
Yeah.
a damn cafe with a baby
Yeah.
on her hip.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Karen's not the bad guy here.
Having a signature bad behavior outfit is kind of chic. Ooh, Dan just being
Yeah.
fashionable. He just
Yeah.
trendy.
He's just trendy.
Everyone send us photos of your bad girl, bad boy, bad person like outfit.
Yeah.
Like send us the outfit where when you put it on, Girls in the Hood plays in your head and you're like, fuck being good, I'm a bad bitch. Like, send it to me. I want to post them all in the stories.
Yes, do it, please, and tag me.
Yeah, I will. Are you ready to talk about Nicki and how she real a lot?
Yeah, that's literally my next note because
Hmm.
when Peyton and Brooke are at the mall and
And she
like,
kidnapped that baby.
and I'm like, first of all, not that I'm victim blaming, but
Yeah.
Peyton, who puts the carriage behind them like that? Two, how did we not feel? Because I don't know about your baby strollers, but the baby stroller I had baby Jay in, like you knew somebody was taking that child out of the
Right.
stroller.
Yeah.
And
Because
three,
you have to
why
wrestle a baby
you
out.
have
There's
to
no
wrestle?
smoothly
There's
doing
no
it. Have
smooth
you ever tried to take a baby out of a car seat and you're just whacking
anything,
your own head on the car to try to not whack
anything.
their head?
And then Brooke go get security, and then she's like, "Well, I need a phone." Girl, no, you don't. You need to chase that bitch into the store.
Into the store. Into the store.
And I'm like, why are you going to Cricket Wireless or whatever the fuck it's called? Like,
Because
no.
they sponsored the show.
Yes, and
This
I was
cat
like, this
this
is so
kidnapping brought to you by
infuriating.
Cricket.
So
Listen,
infuriating. I would have
she
chased that woman I would have followed her. I would have been screaming, baby thief, baby thief.
Nicki also only has one bad girl outfit. She in the same outfit every time
Yeah,
we see her,
yeah,
and the same eyeliner.
yeah.
Nicki, so I would like to remind everyone that Nicki is an adult in the middle of her college years, and she is still like just fucking around and
With high school kids.
manipulating high school students. Like
Yeah,
we didn't like those people. I mean, we did in high school. In high school, we were
yeah.
like, ooh,
We're so
the
cool.
drama. But like your
In
college
hindsight.
friends are like, what do you mean you're going home again? To
What do
like
you mean
just
you're hanging out with high school kids?
what do you mean that you're just like fucking entrenching yourself into their drama? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you're fucking a high schooler on a carousel that you then take your baby to?
I hope they wiped it down. I hope somebody cleaned
No one
it.
knew. No one knew. Who knew?
I mean, I just generally because people are gross. I hope it got cleaned.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
it was a pre-COVID world, and it was the early 2000s. We were
Yeah.
real loosey-goosey about germs. I think we were all still supposed to be drinking milk.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true. That's
oh,
true. I don't
Nicki,
know.
and like I had forgotten the twist that Brooke was actually a double agent and she was fucking playing Nicki and not Peyton. So when like Nicki sidled up to Brooke and she's like, I'd like to fucking ruin Peyton's life. I was like, God damn it. I'm gonna have to own this on the live that you actually a bad person. I've been telling everybody you the best person on this goddamn show. And like, but then it was a double team. She
I
was a
loved
spy on
that.
the inside.
I
Yeah.
loved that because Jenny's not Jenny,
Nicki.
Nikki, you
She
were
ain't
like,
right.
I was, what was it last week? Was like, I don't know. And you're like, no,
She could just have
just wait.
postpartum. She
Yeah,
could just
just
be a
wait.
sad lady. I was like, she kidnapped that baby out
You're
of a
like, just
mall.
wait, just wait. And then I was like, this motherfucker bitch. I'm like,
Can we
no.
can we talk about all of the things that I thought took 3 seasons to get us to? And
Yeah.
I've been trying to not spoil for you happened this episode. Jake leaving, the baby napping, like even Nikki showing up. The amount of things that have happened in season 1 of One Tree Hill, Virgin River would take 18 years to get through.
Also true. And this is the days of 22 episodes. Now we get maybe 10 a
Yeah,
season and you're just like, so that's probably why you thought it was the third season.
probably. My God.
Well, now I'm curious what's going to happen in the second season because so much and the way the season end, there's so many things. First of all, I don't know. Okay, so the whole like porn thing between Nathan and Haley,
That's
I
something
actually
that also pisses me off.
so I only think that works for Haley. I don't think that works for any other character on the show
But I also
because
feel like this came out of nowhere. It was just like that Haley wasn't having sex and she was cool about it. And then all of a sudden she was like dating Nathan And I think that she just continuously got more and more in her head. And then she was doing unhinged things like being mad about porn. And I'm like, why are you unhinged?
So that's very I feel like that's very early 2000s and earlier, because like I remember even when I was in high school, like that was a thing that people were like, oh my god, it's so gross, all these things, it counts as cheating, and like, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
And I do appreciate that Haley said something like, like that, like my body doesn't look like their bodies, like how do
Right.
you think that makes me feel? So I appreciate that, but I do not subscribe to the ideology that porn is bad, because
No.
not all porn is bad.
No,
Like
I watch porn.
if you're exploiting, if you're exploitative, like all there's things that are bad about the industry that need to come to an end. But there are things that are also where I'm just like, honestly, like who fucking gives a shit? Is this because we're a culture that's sexually repressed?
Yeah, basically, it's because we were built on a nation of Puritans. They came on a rock, they made some houses, and now we can't watch porn. Shout out to Taylor Tomlinson real quick at one of her shows, one of the three that I saw this year. She made me aware of audio ASMR porn. It's the best porn because you don't have to look at you don't have to look at people. You can just like lay there.
Listen to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they make all of the sexy noises
Hi,
and everything.
Carly.
Hi, Carly.
Welcome to our
So
show.
this is your tip, everybody. Pay for Dipsy. I don't because I'm broke. So I only get to listen to the one. But
Okay.
love you. Your
Yeah.
haircut's cute. I saw it in your story.
Yeah, it is real
Um,
cute. I heart-eyed it.
yeah. Audio porn is the only porn that's worth a damn because you get to pick. That could be Matthew McConaughey coming to like fix
Oh,
your car. It could be Broody, Chad Michael Murray. It could,
yeah.
whatever your
Well,
flavor of the week is. Mine,
yeah.
Natalie Dormer. Why does
Okay.
Natalie Dormer get to come and fix my car? I don't know, but that's what I do when I lay there. I'm
Yeah,
listening to it.
I support it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like conflict couldn't have existed with any of the other girls. I think
Yeah.
Haley was the only one that you could kind of do
Well,
that with.
and Peyton said it. She's like, no, I wouldn't have been mad about it. I'm pretty sure Peyton and Nathan probably watched porn together. They were probably
Yeah.
that couple.
Yeah.
And Haley's like,
And
why? And
Haley
she's
still
like, I'm not you. Like Nathan and I's relationship was a dumpster fire. Like
yeah.
it wasn't worth getting upset about.
And they're so different too. Like
Mm-hmm.
Haley's still innocent. She's still, saving herself for marriage and all of that stuff. So like I can understand why she would be upset, because she doesn't have, and it's not experience, it's more of the knowledge base that like
Yeah.
comes with when you start to learn about your body and how you want to be sexually and all those things. So
Right.
but I still didn't like the perpetuation of like porn's cheating.
The porn's gross. No, we're pro sex work in this space. Again, I would like to make a call out. If you or someone is working in the sex industry, it's something that I haven't gotten to cover on the podcast yet, but would love to. It'll be fun, I promise.
Throwing it out there. Throwing it out there. Again,
Just
I have noted
manifesting that.
Dan's a terrible guy because of everyone else,
Everybody else.
apparently.
God. I want to talk about that party and how like, yes, Nicki did some fucked up things, and then like, oh my God, when she said, oh, look at Lucas Scott defending his women. Oh, wait, there's more. That was hilarious. Oh, you're frozen.
Okay, say it again because I was frozen. I'm so sorry to everybody else who wasn't frozen.
So Nicki and Peyton get into that fight. Number one, not one of those teenagers, Bats and not one of those extras was directed to react to a chair going through a window. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that's
Because
like,
parties
shouldn't that
in
have been
Tree
a
Hill,
cut off the music?
maybe
Like,
parties in Tree
oh my
Hill
God,
just get a little crazy.
a chair went
Maybe that was
through a window.
mild. Maybe that was mild for Tree
Maybe.
Hill. I've
I
been to
don't
some wild
know.
parties. Has anybody gone through a window at any of the parties I've gone to, though? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I just feel like when things break, to the point where you're
That's
like,
when you're
that's going to be
like, oh,
expensive
it's time to
to
go.
fix. Like,
I don't want
yeah.
something just broke. I don't want to be here when the cops get here. Let's bounce. Yeah.
None of those kids reacted. And then like they're in like the circle and Nicki is like, oh, look at Lucas Scott defending his women. Oh, wait, there's more. I won. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Nicki. I love that moment in the show. I remember I'm like, yes, here it comes. We get in that petty circle. It's
Yeah.
again, it is the level of messy that my millennial ass loves to thrive under, where it's like, what you getting messy about, Nicki? Oh, you fucked him on a carousel too? Everybody fucked
I
Luke
mean,
at this
she
party.
literally like pursued him when we first
Mm-hmm.
meet her. Like she's a legitimate predator.
She's a predator. Much
She's
like that
like,
kid
I'll
on
buy
Girl
him
Meets the World.
I'll buy him a cocktail and then
Yeah.
I'll seduce him with my big brown eyes.
But do you know what I appreciated the most about the party? Is that Nathan comes home, gets arrested, but at no point does he make some shitty comment to
Yeah.
Haley like, I can't believe that you would jeopardize my emancipation
Yeah.
or like any of it. He's
Yeah.
just like, it happens, parties get out of control,
Yep.
guess you're popular now. I was like, why is Nathan all of a sudden 55 down to his soul?
The
Like,
most enlightened teenager. I mean, again, huge growth from episode 1. Episode
yeah,
1, he was such a trash person.
such a trash
By
person.
episode 22, I was like, where can I find a Nathan Scott?
You know what? All Nathan Scotts, you can come into the DMs. You can tell me what audio porn you like the most.
Yeah.
But only the Nathan Scotts of the world. Love you,
Bye,
Carly.
Carly.
um, yes. So yeah, the fact that because how many times did we see that where like your boyfriend urges you to do something, you do it, but then you do it a little bit further that makes him comfy, and then he's yelling at you.
Well,
How
and
many
it's
of
not
us have
even
lived through that?
and it's not even you doing it beyond what he's comfy with. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
do it, it gets out of control because you thought you had a handle on it.
Yep.
And then the day of, you're like, oh shit, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if I had done
No,
whatever.
I've lived through it.
I
At
don't have,
least
yeah.
there's been a point in every relationship where some man has blamed me for something that he has set up to have happen.
Oh, yeah, when you frame it that way, I've been in those
Yeah.
situations. Yeah.
Like like literally it's either like we got frisky late into the night and now he's texting me all day that he's fucking tired at work and he doesn't understand why I have to be distracting. Baby, I can't help that.
Is that your way of flirting? Because
It's right.
it's not very
Yeah. But
good.
he's angry and like he's
Yeah.
pouting.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't help it that I'm distracting. I can't
Yeah.
help it that people want me around. Or
Yeah.
like a guy's been texting you, blowing up your phone days after days after days, and then he's moody one day. So you are the one blowing up the phone, and then he's screaming at you that you're too much. And it's like, why do I have these text messages on my phone? Like, what happened to the guy who was buying me a house 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I would like to know. So it's very much
Inquiring
in
minds.
like, because at the end of the day, I think Lucas blames Peyton and Brooke for all of the reasons why he doesn't have friends.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
that's where the pouting is coming from. He can't go inward. He's blaming them. And I think that's why he's like, I have to leave. How would I fix any of this with them two around?
Oh, that's so interesting because I took it as I took it I took it differently, him wanting to
Mm-hmm.
leave. I took it as, he's feeling some kind of way about his basketball career and he's wanting to sort of remove himself from that coupled with the stress of like Dan Scott.
I do forget that basketball is very important in this show because,
Well,
as we know, I don't sport. So when the sports
you
happen,
literally say things in the copy like, "We'll see you at the Rivercourt," which is where they play basketball.
if I can change it for season 2 to we'll
No,
see you at Karen's Cafe.
I love it. Or we can have a different one every time. But like
Like,
that's how I took it because that final shot and he doesn't make it.
yeah.
Like
I also forgot that. I
yeah.
cussed. Like, so it's happening and it's going in, and I'm like, here we go, big season finale, and it bounces off. And I looked at Penelope and I went, he fucking missed the shot.
Yeah. So I took it as he doesn't know how to recover from that because
Yeah.
what's happening with Whitey's not
Yeah.
healthy. And like Dan, oh my God. Oh my God. I loved the speech or the fight that they had in the locker room after the fact when Nathan
Right.
was like, basically like, fuck you, Dad. At least he took the shot.
Yeah.
You didn't even try. I
Well,
was
and then
like, get it, Nathan.
for one thing, that doctor, when that doctor like clocks in on what Dan Scott is doing and he's like, he's gonna ruin that kid's arm. Why didn't the doctor?
Yeah, doesn't he have like a legal obligation or a moral, like not even just a moral obligation, but does he have some sort of like Hippocratic
Aren't,
obligation?
well, and aren't the physical therapists that are on site at all of the games, isn't that their only job to make sure that you don't do permanent damage to yourself? Like, isn't that their like driving force to be all like, okay, you hurt yourself. Let's figure it out. Let's see if you can go back or if we need an x-ray, especially on an
Yeah.
existing injury.
Yeah. So I didn't know that some high schools would have a physical therapist
I
on
believe that
staff.
like fancy rich ones do.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. That tracks, that tracks.
Yeah.
But I thought like, and it was just further proof that Dan Scott is ill-equipped to be around children
It's just
because he's
like,
not thinking about the long-term damage that will happen to Lucas.
I was like, why does Dan want to be coach? Is
And
this just another
also,
stick it to
yeah, because
Whitey thing?
no, this is he can't get over the fact that he fucked his own life over.
Yeah.
And two, like these are children. If they tell you they can do it and they're okay, you
You don't
still
believe them?
have you still have an obligation as the adult with a fully formed brain in theory to protect them.
I'd like to remind everyone that I should have had braces, but at 8 years old, an adult looked at me and went, but do you really want braces? Like, let's talk about what a pain in the ass that is. And as an 8-year-old, I was handed that decision, and all I knew was about what was like in media and presented to me and what other people I knew had gone through with braces. So at 8 years old, I was like, no, I
Yeah,
don't want
because
braces.
you were super well equipped at 8 years old to make that decision.
Just to make my own medical decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I mean, I guess my teeth, when I tell people this story, they're like, your teeth are fine. And I understand it's the point of the story.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand. Like, I don't know. I'll never have a movie star smile unless I get bougie and get Invisalign.
Yeah.
Not being an adult.
Not to like make it so you eventually hate me and are resentful towards me, but I have never had braces.
Oh my gosh, look at them teeth. Look at them jeans. That's okay. I've never had a cavity, even though I'm a trash human.
I'm so jealous.
Literally, I'll go years without going to the dentist because I'm a trash human, and I don't like errands.
Yeah,
and
they don't make it easy. I get it.
and the dentist will be like, I can't believe that your teeth are in this good of shape. I'm like, I got the good bacteria.
It was all that milk.
It's all that milk. It's all those cheese products.
All those cheese products.
But yeah, like children can't make their own medical decisions because they're literally looking 5 minutes ahead.
And it's your responsibility as the coach, as the mentor, as the adult in charge to sort of help
As the parent.
as the parent is to walk through all of the scenarios because you should in theory have the ability to see into the future.
Yeah.
It made me so like when that happened, and you could see it on Nathan. Like Nathan had the wherewithal to be like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. And then like what's Nathan gonna do? Just like raise his hand and be like,
Excuse me,
I
coach.
believe excuse me, coach, dad. Um, man who I chose not to live with anymore and got a judge involved. I would like to remind you that he shouldn't be playing. Um, do you want to talk about the hate sex?
Girl, I literally wrote down, let me read it. Where did it go? Where did it go?
I don't know.
Wait,
I,
hold on. I want to read you my note.
I just wrote
Oh, I wrote,
the
okay.
hate sex.
I wrote hate that Deb and Dan had hate sex. It's
Yeah.
not that
Mm-hmm.
great of a note. It was better in my head.
Except for raise your hand if your trash bag personality and all of the ways that codependency fucked you makes you really enjoy hate sex. I do. It feels like you won. Like it feels like it wasn't supposed to happen and somehow you like beat a game.
I hate it though because it makes it, I feel like it makes it normal.
Correct. Correct. Should I love hate sex? If we're angry at one another, I shouldn't be like immediately like, we should just like we are at the peak of our passion right now. Like I
Yeah.
shouldn't. I should not. I should sit there and I should process my feelings and I should probably go home and whatever. So thank you, One Tree Hill, for
Or
because then
I
you
shouldn't
like
say normal. I should say toxic.
so then but then you like did you notice like Deb's body language also like change because again this is why I abstain from sex when I'm not in a healthy relationship because Deb was like, you saw it in her entire eyes. She was like, maybe I don't have to divorce Dad. Like, the chemicals. You can't trust them chemicals.
Right. And we talk about that
The
on my
sex brain on the normal
yes,
people with
episode.
Leah.
Yes, 100%. And that's the thing. And so ever since that episode I feel very enlightened about how I
Why
need
does
to be
it?
more aware. This is why I'm saying we're sexually oppressed and it's not just about like,
No
you
one
know,
tells
the
us about sex brain.
exactly. That's exactly it. I feel like if we had the information and understood the chemicals and the biology behind it, I think people would make better decisions and we'd
Right.
have less trauma.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No one tells you about sex brain. So there you are, all pissed and petty because he slut shamed you or something. That's what happened to me. And I'm like, I'm pissed. And I've been slut shamed. And I'm drunk. So I should Uber home. But I packed a bag.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
But no one's going to touch me because I'm mad. And I've been slut shamed. And I don't deserve to be slut shamed. And then, like, literally, I will say, to give myself some credit, it was during the pandemic. I was touch starved. That fucked with my entire
Yeah.
neuro system when it came to touch. So it was like he sighed before it. That's how you know it's not supposed to happen. Like I remember I was pissed the entire party. I was pissed the entire party and I was just like acting out. I tried to smoke a cigarette. I've never touched a cigarette in my life.
Ooh, girl.
But I was asking people for cigarettes. And because I was just unhinged and drunk and just like angry. And I just like went right back to, I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to ruin everybody's evening. And so I was in the dark place. It's fine. We all regress sometimes. I worked it through with my therapist when I came out of it.
That's what
And
therapy is
like,
for.
so I wouldn't let him hold my hand. I wouldn't let him do anything. Wouldn't dance with him, danced with other people, whatever. And then like everyone went home and I'm like, fuck, I'm still drunk. And I'm like debating calling the Uber or debating sleeping on the couch or like whatever. And he sat next to me and he like fucking did the regret sigh. And then started like making all my body parts feel good. And I was like, God damn it. And it was the only time the sex was good. So
Ugh,
there. So
that's,
there. I still
I
feel like I
mean,
won a game.
yeah, yeah,
It's the only time it was good. It was the only time like effort was put forth.
yeah,
It was the only time that like my feedback was receptive.
yeah.
Like,
So, their hate sex, but then 2 episodes
Two
later,
episodes. Yeah.
she and Keith. Is it
Yeah.
is it pity sex, or is it just
Is
kind of
it
like
petty sex?
is it,
Is
yeah,
it
is it
is
pity
it
or petty, or is
is
it
it
nostalgia?
there's a fire here, so maybe we
Yeah,
shouldn't waste this fire.
don't waste
I
the moment.
I am mad that we don't know anything about the moments leading up to that. I'm like, I don't remember us just finding them naked in front of that
Yeah, because like
fireplace.
because
I
he's like,
remember
oh,
knowing.
he's like, oh, I always spend time with Whitey after a game, win or lose. And then she's like, oh, yeah, I'm burning Dan's stuff. And like, oh, ha, 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 all these things. And then the next scene that we see them in,
Nate,
Deb's under a blanket. Here comes fucking Dan, which how do you keep getting into the house,
how you keep
Daniel?
getting into this house?
Yeah. And then Keith uncovers himself. And you're just like, wait, what?
Confusing. But you know, on the Drama Queens podcast, they said that like the actress who plays Deb could literally create chemistry out of nowhere with everyone. And she said, she goes, I always thought that Deb and Keith had the best chemistry.
Huh.
And like, I get it because they've been hurt. Well, technically, Karen was also hurt by Dan. Keith needs to just like stop sleeping with the women who have also been hurt by Dan. But like,
Yeah.
so like, Deb kind of got to love Keith in a very mature and loving fashion because
Yeah.
she was his sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So you have this like very safe way to be in his life and
Yeah.
love and nurture him. And then, a fireplace gets the best of us.
I honestly,
I
was
blame the
like,
fireplace. I'm like, oh, there's a fire and a cozy blanket.
and like, I don't know.
It's wild.
It was like this moment of like,
I think we get flashbacks to what transpired
okay.
beforehand because I'm so confused that
I
we
wonder if
have no context to how that happened.
I hope we get flashbacks, because I wonder if the writers were just like, oh, just put it in there and we'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out later. And then like Peyton's hot dad just being like, well, how do you feel about me seeing Karen? We're all okay with it. We
Yeah.
all voted Peyton's hot dad. And
Everyone's
we would like to see you in certain ways undressed in front of a fire. Like, I'm upset that that wasn't the scene that was painted for us.
like, why weren't you in the season finale?
I know. Can we talk about like how
I'm-
devastating it is to lose the first round of playoffs? Like, I don't sport. I know nothing about sports, but I know that if you have made it that far and then you bitch out on the first, and it happens to someone. Like, it always happens to someone. Someone gets kicked out that first round of the playoffs. But that is always the team that I feel the worst for. I'm like,
Yeah. And I felt like
"Oh."
when Whitey was like, oh, I'm going on medical leave for a day and missing the game. And then Dan's like, let me be the coach. It's like, well, Dan's going to be the coach. They're going to lose. Like, the minute Dan was like, let me be the coach, and Whitey was like, no, it's like, Dan's going to be the coach and they're going to lose. So there's that. The other thing about Deb and Dan, though, I was like, I'm confused. They didn't have a fight about divvying up their assets. They're wealthy people. Like, why is this so easy when it comes to the assets?
I think eventually, like, Deb just got really sad. Like, you kind of saw it. Like, by now, Deb is actually like, instead of just feeling righteous that this is the right move, which it is.
Yeah.
She like, Nathan moved out. Dan is Dan. Like, literally. And then the audacity that men, when you haven't been a good husband, not once ever, to stand there on the eve of your divorce and scream at you about all of the things that you fucking bought me. Like I'm a goddamn sex worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. The slut shaming.
Yeah.
Like,
so is
just fucking screaming because there's no value in my labor. There's no value in the fact that I raised your goddamn kid and you ruined it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it okay to move into the fact now that Dan has a heart attack that is intense and he says to her, "You better
Uh,
hope I die"?
It's like one of the last lines
I
of
had to
the season.
rewind it to make sure I heard him correctly.
I remember it was like a sense memory for me. I believe I said it with him, and then so when he started to clutch his arm, I went, "Yeah, die, fucker, die."
But
And
you
then he's
told
like,
me he doesn't die because he's a
I know.
cockroach.
There's always so many Dan deaths, but I'm gonna manifest it like maybe they rewrote the show for HBO. And then he's like croaking to death, like, "You better hope I die."
So I feel like
What
this
does that
is,
mean?
I don't know. And I feel like this is like the precursor to Carrie letting Big die because Deb's just sitting there
Right.
holding him, not doing anything about
Right.
it. You better hope, I better hope you die. Cool. I'm not calling 911,
I'm
motherfucker.
not making a phone call. You know what's not gonna make me plug in my phone? You screaming at me, "You better hope I die." Okay, then
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Bye.
Also, that's cryptic. What the fuck does that mean? What do you have more to torture me about?
Yeah, Dan, we already saw you starting to sign the papers, and it's just so convenient that you're having a heart attack as your mid signature.
Mid signature. I guess it did happen to Keith. I was like, what ramped him up again? Oh, her fucking Keith.
Yeah.
I was like, what ramped him up again? Um,
I'm just crossing off all the things that on my list that we've
oh,
talked about so I don't forget. Go ahead.
something that I would like to dive into is how Lucas ruined Haley's first time.
Oh my
How is it that
God.
Lucas is immediately there every time Nathan and Haley are trying to be chill about their love, and then he's like screaming?
Yeah,
Also,
but like,
how
don't you think that 17's too young to get married though?
100%. But again, it's all tied into how weird our culture is
Yeah.
about sex.
Sex.
So
Mm-hmm.
Haley couldn't just have sex with him.
Yeah.
She had to marry him.
Yeah. That's how every great relationship starts.
Right. And and how like it's inappropriate to be in your brother's home with his naked wife screaming, "I thought you were gonna wait." Why is that your business? Did you wait,
Again,
Mr. fucking Nicki on a carousel?
it goes back to Lucas's unwillingness to see that Haley is growing and
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, can you even get married at 17
Maybe in North
without like,
Carolina you can.
because I know
In
the
some
age of consent is like 16 or 14 in some states, but like,
mm,
does that also mean getting married?
in some states you can get married at like 14. I don't know. This should be wild here.
Yeah, I
This
it's still it's upsetting how many states are still allowing 14-year like age of consent to be 14. Like, no.
like so yeah, like the marriage where she goes, "We did wait."
Yeah.
And I'm like, when Nathan have time to buy that ring with his pretzel money?
It's out of a Cracker Jack box. Come on. Like, let's be
Oh,
real.
and I also thought that that happened around season 3. I was like,
So apparently season 3 is not very good if you can't remember anything that actually happened in it.
well, because now it's all just the aftermath of what we've set up, right? Now it's just going to
Oh,
literally be because I think these 4 episodes were really the episodes where we leaned into being the
okay.
teen soap opera of the
Okay.
millennia. It had a
Okay.
very soap vibe.
So I have something to say about that. And I
Sure.
wrote it out this afternoon, so I'm just going to read it here. As I said, I really like how the show isn't just about teenagers, especially
Yeah.
since, I'm watching it now as an adult. But like, it really does, because you have so much of the parents' lives. It really is
Hmm.
a show. If you have that kind of relationship with your parents, I did not. My mother would have lost her shit if we tried to watch
Yeah.
this together. I could, if I had a daughter or a child who wanted to watch this show, I could totally sit through the show with that child.
Hot Mom and I used to eat Ben and Jerry's brownie batter. Again, Ben and Jerry's bring back brownie batter.
Yeah, I'm actually really upset about that too. I went looking for it at the grocery store the other day, and I was
You
like, "Oh
know,
yeah, they got rid of it." I'm so
it
sad.
it hasn't existed for 10
I know,
years.
but that's how bad I wanted it.
I want it every goddamn day. Um, Anywho, my mother and I used to eat brownie batter ice cream every Friday night and we would just like catch up on our soaps, like,
Yeah.
oh, One Tree Hill.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's why I think like this show isn't just for
yeah,
teens. It has
Lost. We
be,
loved Lost.
because the whole like I'm sorry, I'm not going to acknowledge the lost comment. I'm just going to move on. Because the whole like all the stuff with Karen, like her like the she literally is making the ultimate like sacrifice by saying, yes, Lucas, it's okay for you to move with Keith, like
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that she's not ready. Like just her journey is so relatable, and I can say that now as a solo parent
Yeah.
with a teen at the latter end of teen years. Like I probably wouldn't have fully understood it if I had been watching this in high school.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I think the reason why I told you it's like, oh, I'm in after watching the first couple episodes was because there's so much like
Yeah.
the teenager high school stuff is more nostalgia at this point for me. Like I remember high school because I literally went to high school in the early 2000s, and
Mm-hmm.
then the parental side of it, it's like that's the shit I'm going through now. At
Yeah.
least Karen's storyline is.
Yeah. And I think the thing about One Tree Hill is the same thing that I say about Gilmore Girls and really all of the shows back then is
Mm-hmm.
like I could walk into that town in
Yeah,
North Carolina and I could probably get myself around
yeah,
because they do such a great job of not making it a singular story. Like
right.
that's where Virgin River fucks up in case Netflix would like to know.
Because they need to know because how many times did I forget they were on a river?
Because Virgin River will have a 45-minute episode, and 30 minutes of it is just like pretend bullshit between Mel and Jack. And then
Yeah,
15 minutes of it is all of these badly planned out subplots with
yeah,
the other people that I'm supposed to give a fuck about.
yeah.
I don't know Jack's sister's name.
I honestly I can't remember her name either. I only remember Brody's name because I think he's cute, so it's stuck.
Yeah, that's why I remember Preacher's name.
Preacher.
Preacher. I feel like who's the woman that Preacher is all hung up on? Who Paige, because
Paige.
they say it all the time, like in a very
Yeah.
cryptic manner. But like,
But you
you're
had
right.
to
One
think
Tree
about
Hill.
it. You had to think about.
I did. I can name every character on One Tree Hill, and
Yeah.
they do such a great job of not making anyone a throwaway.
Yeah.
Listening to Pod Meets World made me realize how like during Boy Meets World and the production of Boy Meets World, that guy had one singular idea in his head. And he was going to carry out that one singular
Yeah.
idea. He wanted to tell the tale of his, like, what if I was in middle school and I was funny? And then, like, that's why they had so many throwaway characters
Right.
and the rotating death chair and
Yeah.
everything because you didn't think further than Corey Matthews.
Right.
And then you made up the rest as you went along,
Right.
which is fine. It still came out to be a Banin show,
And
but
that's something that can't. Well, Virgin River is doing that. Forgetting that other characters exist, but other show productions are like you can no longer get away with that, right?
right.
Like we allow it for Virgin River. I don't know why, but like other shows, like they aren't doing that. Everything else is very thought out. Everyone else matters in the show, even if their part is small. It's still significant.
Critical Role. My silly little D&D stream that I watch to sleep at night. What up, Matthew Mercer? He will make sure that every NPC that they encounter and build a connection with has some sort of like impact on what they're doing. Uh-oh. Ooh, it's giving me the circle of death. Oh, but I can hear you again.
Okay.
Oh, now I can kind of. All right. You back? You fully back? Okay. Um, so like Matthew Mercer, every NPC that they create a bond with, and mind you, 100 episodes, 4 to 5 hours an episode.
Yeah.
I have literally watched thousands of hours of this show. He will make sure that that NPC gets a completed story arc
Yeah.
within the adventure. And it's like, what the fuck, Matt? He did it for one of their animals.
I love that.
Okay, because it was the I think Sprinkle is a weasel, and Jester, the person who bought Sprinkle, would wear him around her neck.
Aww.
And no matter what was going on in the campaign, she always had Sprinkle. They went underwater. They went into sub temperatures. It was really fucking cold. And every once in a while, someone would go, did that water breathing spell also work on Sprinkle? And then like someone would like be like, is Sprinkle dead? And Jester doesn't know. And then she'd be like, no, 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 he's not dead. Eat the cracker, Sprinkle. And it was a bit for all of campaign 2. I laughed every time Travis, Laura's husband, would make the Sprinkle voice and be like, save me, let me drown, set me free. So then all of a sudden, blindsiding me, Matt Mercer makes Sprinkle the physical representation of Jester's deity, and
Aww.
Sprinkle is how he kept track of her. He was the rodent. I was like, you fucking genius, Matt Mercer, because you could have let that drop. You could have like been like, I don't know, the weasel just always gets to live because Laura will cry if the weasel dies, and then she'll stab us all, and I don't want to deal with that. Like, Laura always has a pet in every campaign, except for this one for whatever reason. Maybe she hasn't met it yet. And at no cost is that pet allowed to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sprinkle was it. And I was like, Matt Mercer, you clever son of a bitch. You gave Sprinkle the weasel a complete story arc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Virgin River could never. I think someone did have a dog. And like, where'd that dog go?
Did somebody have a dog in Virgin River?
I feel like someone had a dog. I feel like Doc got a dog or something. I feel like a dog showed up.
Honestly, I can't even remember because nothing about that show sticks.
My God. So, like, kudos to you, One Tree Hill, because your cast isn't small.
Yeah.
It's manageable. And therefore, I get to have depth in all of these characters.
Yeah.
Even unhinged Nicki.
Yeah.
Like, you felt for her. You were like, she might be unhinged because she made a mistake postpartum. And I was like, okay, but she bad lady and she gonna kidnap that baby out of the mall.
Just wait for it.
Like, she gonna kidnap that baby out of a stroller at the mall and then just take off. Which is always my turning point with Nicki, because I was like, listen, you chose to make an outing with your baby scary. And I feel like that's very counter motherhood. I just feel like
the other thing too about now that you bring up Nicki again, the other thing too that I kind of hate that our society and culture perpetuates is that when a parent fucks up, we should just like ignore it and allow but there's no like process to healing. There's no like acknowledgement or acceptance or working to having something healthy. I hate how it's like, well, this is biologically mine.
Right.
So you must you must immediately allow me to do whatever I want, even though I've been gone for the last 9 months. Like,
she literally just keeps, like, when Jake is like, so why should you be here? And Nikki's like, well, I'm her mother.
Okay, like, great. Like, you could disappear again. Like that's
why?
That's the thing that really bothers me, because he's been working really hard to keep this human alive who's like genuinely dependent. And she's like, but I am her mom. Cool. You have demonstrated that you can't do motherhood. So prove that you can do motherhood, and then we'll talk. Supervised visits, come over and hang out, like something that's
be nice to Peyton.
Be not, or stop stirring the pot.
Right.
Something that says like, hey, it's actually not a bad idea for you to be in charge.
For me to be around.
Yeah, I hate that. Our culture does that all the time. Where it's
all
like,
the time.
Well, it's the dad. Well, dad's a fucking alcoholic who's abusive. So maybe dad should get his shit straight. Maybe it'd be healthier for the kid to not live through all of that trauma, and then explain to the child, hey, it's not that I didn't want to be around. It's that I had problems that I needed to work out, and I didn't want to make those problems your problem.
everyone remember to hug your creepy uncles during Christmas and put your comfort aside because that's the world we live in. Like,
Truly.
everybody.
It makes me
Because
so mad. Sorry,
it,
Jules.
it does make me mad. That's why I told you she was a bad lady.
I didn't
She
know. I
bad,
know now.
she bad lady. She a predator.
She's 100% a
Um,
predator.
she real creepy. I'm like, you scary.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable. Um, what were men's clothes in the 2000s when they go to the
Exactly,
Rivercourt?
exactly what they were wearing. That is literally how the guys looked in high school.
And
Except it like the punk rock guys looked a little, more
I
like
was like, this is why I didn't date in high school. No one could tell what you looked like. You all
this style.
wore shirts that were 3 sizes too big.
I
They
will
took
die
all of the
on this
extra
hill.
they took all of the extra fabric from our crop tops and our low-rise
Yeah.
jeans and they
And
just
added
put it
it.
on men's
I
clothing.
will die on this hill. All of us who came of age in the early 2000s need a do-over fashion-wise because that shit was awful.
It was
Nobody would
bad.
have known about Haley's tattoo if she hadn't been in low-rise jeans.
Right. Oh, we didn't even talk about how like because at first I thought that like, oh, now it's becoming too real for Nathan because she got a tattoo and a tattoo is permanent. And I thought that he was leaning into that, like, guys don't really want to commit to you
Mm.
anxiety, and he was feeling choked. But then he was just like, I just don't want to mishandle the way that you feel about me. And I'm like,
Again,
at any point, at
Nathan
any
Scott's
point.
any Nathan Scott out there, like later season one, not early season one, DMs are open.
Where is all of my compensation from the men I've tolerated before? Because they didn't give a fuck about handling with care the way that I felt about them.
Yeah.
Just asking me all the time why I'm the most. I'm the most because I'm the greatest. I'm a bad bitch.
I think Nathan Scott's a really good representation of character development and
Right.
growth.
I don't know why I've never given Nathan enough credit. I think I gave it all to Haley. Um, but he's the moral backbone of the show because and I think the show does that masterfully, right? Where they keep tricking me into believing that Nate's going to make the fucked up choice. And then he's like, haha, I'm a good person. I'm like, damn it. I believe this is a reflection on me and not who you are, Nathan Scott.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Sorry.
anything other. No problem. So
Josephine keeps looking at me like, please, mommy, take me out. Take me out. It's
she
not my
don't want to
job.
go out though. I know her. She don't want to go.
She hates the stairs.
She hates the stairs. She hates being outside. She don't like it. She don't like it.
She's just like
Um,
her mommy.
I get those voice memos where you're like, "Could you just do anything, Josephine? You beg to be out here. You beg to
Yeah.
be out here."
We're talking about you. You hear us talking
Yeah,
about you, beautiful girl. My
yeah.
perfect girl. My perfect girl.
So
Okay, my
like,
go
go
ahead.
for it,
I was gonna say
Nathan
my
Scott.
last note, my very last note that I have, and then I don't have anything else to talk about,
That's fine.
is the growth in the relationship between Nathan and Lucas too.
I know they finally get to be brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and Lucas keeps trying to fuck it up because he's so angry for no reason. He's like, if you wanted
See,
to
you think
date
he's angry for no reason. I think he's angry because he's fucked up in the head about Dan.
also that, but like Lucas, if you wanted to date Haley, you had years upon years of opportunity. You really are the fucking Uncle Keith of this show. So
Wait, do
if
you
like
think that he wants to date Haley?
I don't know what
You've
happens with
you've seen all of the seasons. I haven't. Hello,
so
Mario.
I don't what I feel like happened. I feel like it's a very typical switch in people's brains where it's like someone has been parallel playing with you your entire life.
Yeah,
You have secret jokes. You
yeah,
have handshakes. You're
yeah.
like you're liberal with one another's bodies. Fucking whatever. You're bestie friends. And then that bestie friend does all of the shit that you've done with them with someone else, and you immediately go, "That's my toy. Who took my toy?" And that's what Lucas is doing this entire season. And so it's like, do you want to be Nathan's brother or not, Lucas? You have to stop. You have to stop slut shaming Haley in front of everyone. Just like
Yeah.
he didn't even like grab her arm and was like, I would like to talk to your naked ass out in this hallway. Like, at all. Just like slut shaming her in front of everyone in the middle of school, in the middle of her losing her virginity, in all of it.
Yeah.
Just
He's having a hard time with Haley's growth, as I've mentioned.
and then but then it all stems from his bullshit with Dan and Nathan, and it's like, Lucas, maybe you need to watch back the episodes where Nathan tells Haley that he just doesn't want to mishandle the way that she feels about him. And if any girl has been told that before, I would love you to DM me and tell me that lovely story. I will screen grab them and read them on my stories so that other people feel hope. But like,
Yeah.
I've never been told that. I have never been told, don't worry, I'm going to handle the way that you feel about me with care. Because I know
Yeah.
I was a piece of shit and you saw it.
Yeah. Especially with the way that Nathan and Haley got together. Like this, like the early stages of their relationship was kind
Yeah.
of shady. So like
Yeah.
again, he's had the most growth out of all the characters on this season.
And Luke regressed
Yeah.
hard. And
But I think he had to, because you can't have them both being upstanding guys. They
right,
have to be
correct.
opposite
Where
each
would the
other.
drama be in that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the fact that like Lucas can seamlessly start building this relationship with Nathan and be like, we're brothers. Look at our matching oversized shirts and our really baggy pants. And then like, but still be yelling at Haley because she also sees the good in Nathan. You
Yeah.
don't get to have it both.
Yeah.
You don't get to have it both. I really wanted Nathan to kick Lucas's ass in that locker room when Lucas was trying to pick a fight. I was like, hit him just once. He really does deserve it. Like, kick his ass. Kick his ass. He's slut shaming your girlfriend. He's slut shaming you. Like, kick his ass. Kick
Yeah.
his ass.
Yeah.
And it would have been hot. Would have been hot.
You know, also, Lucas and Keith kind of brood in the same way.
That
Yeah.
where they make their eyebrows stick out 2 feet away from their head.
Yeah, yeah. And they do the squinty the same way. And yeah.
Chad Michael Murray's still selling it. He's like, I can still
Yep.
do it. I
Yep.
can still do it. And
Look at me.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but do you remember being into broody boys? I loved a broody boy.
I did too. I
I was
mean,
like,
for
what's wrong
crying
with
out
you?
loud, I'm Team Jess for crying out loud. Like,
Oh God, I am also Team Jess, and I think that Logan should die in a fire. Uh, just so everyone's aware. And Dean should just be written off of the show. I just don't even want
Dean's
to
the
know what I
worst.
don't
I
want to know
hate,
what happens to Dean. I
like,
don't want to know.
when people tell me, like, oh, Dean was the best boyfriend ever, he's my favorite. I'm like, you love being emotionally abused. That's what
Right.
you're telling me. Remember his
I
bad boy role in House
I
of
do remember when
Wax?
Chad Michael Murray made a return to screen with Paris Hilton for House of Wax. I do remember.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember Paris Hilton was in that movie. Chad Michael Murray was in
Oh,
that movie.
I
Hell
missed
yeah.
it.
You It's
I
a
missed
scary
it.
movie. It's a scary movie.
That's why I missed it.
But yeah, like,
I mean, I
well,
am gonna go see Don't Worry, Darling.
I know because we're gonna do a show on it because I made it work.
And because I fucking love Harry Styles. So, like, we all know
The
that I will
next
follow him to the
Elton
ends of the
John.
earth. Like, I will reshare after this show the video of him at Coachella because, oh my God. So
Um,
good. I need MTV to like release that as a legitimate video for
I
us
need them
to
to do
like
a
have.
concert together. Please just do it together, Shania and Harry.
Yes, please.
Please.
Yes, please.
Life
Yes,
has
please.
been
Yes,
really
please.
hard lately, so could
We
you
need
please?
we need it. We need it. Please, Harry Styles. Please,
So yeah,
please, please.
we go into it more about the 90s protagonist making us codependent. And my mom asked me, she's like, well, are you going to talk about Lucas? And I went, no, because he was in the early aughts. I mean,
Yeah.
I probably did a little bit, but I chose to like make the man, like the human form of, hi, Rose.
Hi,
I
Rose.
ch- I chose to make the
Nice
human.
job, Mario.
Hi, Harry Styles. You let me know when you're in.
Hmm.
Um, I chose to make the human personification of all of my broody. Like, I love a broody boy. Like, give me that pouty lip. Ooh, do you have long hair and a jacket? Sean Hunter.
Yeah.
Sean Hunter. And I remember, like, my second lover, he knows who he is. Um, very broody when we
Yeah.
were growing up as kids. And
Yeah,
then
I've got a long list of
and then
broody
we were
men.
happy. We were happy for like a year before we dated. We weren't even dating yet, and we were the happiest we were ever.
And then
We
you
were
ruined it with
happy.
dating.
We, I mean, dating is a loose term for what we did. We ate a frozen pizza. I met his mom. He took me to Baskin Robbins. We fucked on a futon.
I mean, that's dating in your 20s, no?
Yeah. And he made me a frozen pizza
Yeah.
after my shift at JCPenney's. Like, what a doll. And then, like, we were back to brooding at one another. I was like,
Yeah.
remember when we were happy and getting a puppy? Like, do you
Yeah.
remember
Do you
offering
remember?
to get me a
Um,
puppy? I
there
remember.
Okay, so not to be this person, but I'm gonna be this person. There's a fire, and I have the whole house fan on, and I'm starting to get itchy. So I need to
Yeah.
be able to like,
Oh, hell.
I need
Yeah.
to take something so that way I don't like,
There's a
I don't know,
fire.
I don't know where the
How long
fire
has there
is.
been a fire
I can,
in your vicinity?
yeah, I've been able to smell it for like the last 5 minutes, but now I'm starting to get itchy
How dare
because I was
you
like,
one up me on the spider that I watched for an entire
sorry,
life?
sorry. But I was like, I can do it. It's fine. Like the smell will go away. And then I was like, oh no, that's my arm itching. Oh no,
Why
that's my leg itching. Oh no,
why were
that's
you
my
being
scalp
so brave?
itching.
Tell the people where they can find you
I'm really
and what
sorry to
we're
cut you short.
and what we're doing next. I'm
um,
done with all of my notes.
okay, me too. Friends, Julia Washington, your host and creator of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of race or gender and sometimes both. This week we are in summer rebroadcast mode. So this week we are dropping a rebroadcast of Never Have I Ever. The new season of Never Have I Ever drops this weekend. So we're, did that on purpose. Our
I so
next,
smart.
I so smart. Our next live, since we are wrapping up season 1 of One Tree Hill, we will be covering Prime, Amazon Prime's Prime
I heard
Videos.
crime. I was
I
like, are we
know.
covering crime?
I mean, we can. We will be covering Prime Videos, A League of Their Own, the reboot
League
with
of Their
Abby
Own.
Jacobson, that Abby Jacobson was in charge of, because A League of Their Own is a very defining movie for me. And
Emmy.
most women, I think, who are not on the other side of that coin. And so we're going to dive into that. They're dropping every episode on Friday, I think, but we are going to break it up and do 2 an episode here.
To an
Also,
episode.
also, you can catch us on YouTube doing live shows. The next YouTube live is TBD.
Yeah.
Last plug, merch. Pop Culture Makes
Yeah.
Me Jealous has merch, and you can find that on our website in the merch tab. All kinds of fun t-shirts, all kinds of cozy things. Mario threw out there, because we just dropped the lead actor energy today, and Mario said, what if I'm more of a supporting actor? And I thought,
You know what?
I might make
I
one
feel it.
just for you, Mario.
I feel it.
And that's all the things. You can find me and follow me on the gram here on Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous. Or if you want more of a well-rounded version of who I am, you can find me also on Instagram as the Julia Washington, THE Julia Washington.
Hi, everyone. I'm your host, your Midwest Hollywood hot host, Natalie Katona. If you wanted to find to all the men I've tolerated before, congrats, you're here. We drop episodes every Thursday. This Thursday, we're talking about women and their relationship to their finances. We're calling it Money Mental Olympics because I have a meltdown every time I have to think of money. Last week, we dropped an episode about how misogyny crosses cultures, borders, oceans, even. And we have merch. We have a t-shirt. I meant to wear our hostile one where I'm flipping off all the men I've tolerated before, and I forgot because I went and got water instead. And and it's my fault that we don't know what's going on the YouTube because it will be on our channel and I just haven't picked the movie yet. So If you
Great.
want to see pictures of Penelope before I put them on the stories, you can follow me at NatalieK124. You'll find me. I'm tagged all over this bitch. I'm everywhere on the internet. I'm going to be selling bracelets that I made soon. I made this one with the owl. You're welcome.
It's
And
cute.
I really can't tell you that we'll see you on the Rivercourt next week. So I'm going to quickly remember any baseball knowledge I have and go, we'll see you on the diamond next week.
There you go. See you in the DMs, friends.
Stay
Diamond.
cozy, stay comfy.
Diamond. Is that a diamond?
I hope they have a killer theme song.
Oh, me too.
Because
girl.
what if they don't have a killer song? What am I going to sing from week to week? People are just going to have to make like rando requests.
Yeah. We'll have to build if there isn't a killer theme song, we'll have to build a playlist.
We will. That makes it. Am I just going to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game every week? That feels like torture.
Is that what we sing during the 7th inning stretch? I'm trying to remember.
Why do you think I've been to a baseball game?
I was going to say I haven't been to a game since they resumed going in person, which makes me very sad because I love baseball.
I hate baseball.
Girl!
One of the men I've tolerated before was a very successful baseball coach, and he would try to tell me baseball coach stories, and I just go,
no,
baseball's really long.
It's well, okay, it's America's pastime, but we don't have to get into any of that because it's time for I need to take a Benadryl.
She has to take a Benadryl because her house is on fire.
It's not on fire, just somewhere in the vicinity.
Her neighborhood.
Do not misinterpret.
Her neighborhood has got a flame, and she just chose to finish the show like a goddamn professional. I'll sing us out. I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately.